first on those tee shots that you're going to hit today.
And let's go down to the first.
Starting off the fourth round, here is our co-leader. It's a good position, Frank. Great chance to win.
Oh, and what you would give for a hot putter today on Sunday. There's out of bounds over there.
He needs to get lucky. Not very good at all right there.
No, I think it's time.
Frank, this is where a round can get away. You've just knocked it OB.
Yeah, that shot's never going to come back now. So he doesn't want to compile the error.
So now he's playing his third shot, Frank, after hitting it OB.
Yeah, good tee shot, though. So see if he can string a couple of good shots together now.
Headed for the bunker? Oh, a bit unfortunate. Wasn't able to avoid the sand trap.
Well, this is easily and quickly getting out of hand. Sixth shot now to the fairway bunker. And does not want to hit that lip in front of him.
He needs a clean strike here. Into the thick stuff. That's a difficult lie. Ball sitting down here in the rough. He's digging in. Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. Locked in on the read and the speed. He can't believe it. Thought it was in. Well, after that train wreck, you can see the golfer muttering to himself. I'm not sure what he's saying, but if I'm a lip reader, I'm thinking, you stink? Something like that? Golfers can be so hard on themselves.
Now, this is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. They'll pay a little bit of a price for missing the fairway here, because from that rough, you cannot control the spin on the golf ball. Well, that's what separates the good players from the great players, the ability to get it that close from that kind of lie. Putt for par. He needs one. Nothing wrong with that par putt. Now on to the third, first of the short holes here at Wolf Creek. Uphill shot, Frank?
Yes, it's going to play a little longer because of that. Then it's 227 yards off the back tee. Hard to imagine you have a par 3 in amongst this desert. And really, that's all it is. Tee and green. There's not much in between. Well protected, as you can see by those bunkers. And this green a little smaller than what you'd like for a hole that's around that 230-yard mark.
Frank, that birdie will help the cause. Now back over to the fourth. Catching up with our featured golfer, Frank, it has been a real struggle to this point.
Well, I've got my eyes covered right now, Rich. That ball's going everywhere. You got a feel for him, though. We've all been there. We've all struggled like that. But right now, it is just plain ugly.
Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. Good chance to make birdie here, Frank, as we get set for the approach here at the fourth hole.
The fourth green, as you can see, is set in a little bit of a bowl with that backdrop behind it. Really, the biggest problem is if you come up short that false front, it does feed off the right and the left side there. So, shot not quite hit as well as you would like, can still kick towards the flag.
Moves into second place with that birdie. How about this hole, Frank? Par 5, fifth.
If you stand on this tee for the first time, you've got virtually no idea where you've got to aim. Do you aim it left of those bunkers? Do you aim it over the sort of the canyon? Really, the answer is how far do you hit it, because that is going to determine the line that you hit it on. Avoid the water, that little stream. You can always have a drink on the way if you want to, I guess. Second shot plays uphill, but this is a relatively short par 5, so very reachable. But you can see you've got to flight that second shot. You want to make sure that ball's coming in nice and high to this green that's perched up. This is pretty good, Rich. Maybe just a touch right.
Just a phenomenal approach shot, and now a great chance for an eagle. Standing over this putt,
concentrating on the lead.
Well, that's just a case of not focusing right there. What a lapse in concentration. Birdie putt coming up. Got a par on this hole yesterday. Good birdie right there and good score. How about 8 under for the tournament? Here at the 6th, 447-yard par 4. Pretty good hole, Frank.
Yeah, probably a layup hole, too, for the longer hitters. Something out there around the 280, 290-yard mark to make sure you don't go it in the stream. Obviously, it's a dogleg right, as you can see. The canyon on both sides is sort of well-defined, so you know where not to go. Second shot plays a little bit back up the hill to a green, once again, that's anything other than flat. It's fun. You've got to make sure you get that ball on the right tier if you want to have a birdie putt here.
Another good swing, and it looks like, Frank, another really good shot. Put a birdie on the card here yesterday, don't forget. This for another birdie on this hole on the week. That had to really hurt, Frank, because it looked good all the way.
Well, this will test his mettle.
Doesn't dig into the lead with that par, but Frank, sometimes, and you know this as well as anyone, you just have to kind of maintain your footing out there.
There's a bunker over there.
I think he's headed for it. Previous hole, again in the bunker.
And an awkward little bunker shot. Just splash it out, let the ball run towards the flag.
You see that kind of work from the bunker, you think of the greats like Seve Ballesteros and Gary Player, the best bunker players of all time. That was a nice birdie, and no doubt he's feeling pretty good about his position on this leaderboard.
A series of good holes in a row has got him to this point.
Par 3/8, 248 yards down to the green. What a hole.
Yeah, maybe you put your two hands together, make a little prayer. You might make two, but make 3 here and run to the next tee. This is it's just a gorgeous par 3. Yeah, but it is tough. Every bit as tough as what it is pretty, as a matter of fact.
Wayward from the tee, and this one is headed for the rough, Frank. Second shot from the rough. It's on the way. Superb shot.
Well, it's as good as it's going to get. There's going to be no worries about making that one.
In for par. Set to round out the front side here at Wolf Creek with a par 4.
Fun hole for the big hitter, too. They can really take advantage of this. Nice.
Looks good. Frank, that's as good as I have seen all day long.
I think we've got to blame that on the weather. That weather, the wind had to help that ball give it another 20, 30 yards.
You can't hide the flagstick from that man.
He is just unbelievable. That never deviated offline.
Really starting to shine, moves to 10 under for the tournament. Setting up to start the back nine here, and if it's anywhere near as good as the front nine, Frank, he'll be very happy with his score at the end of the day.
Yeah, the hardest thing right now is to just keep doing the same thing without focusing on the score.
Caught that one flush, Frank. That was beautiful.
What was the movie again? Dead, solid, perfect.
Frank, this is a pretty challenging approach shot here at the 10th.
It's certainly one of the longest second shots you'll play into a par 4 at Wolf Creek. You're coming off a lie with a ball slightly above your feet, so that's a hook shot. And you're really hitting a hook shot into a green that's designed to hit a cut. It makes this shot a little bit more challenging, so just be a little careful here.
Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
Just 5 feet left. So has the par. Moving on to the next hole, and the lead, Frank, is very much intact. On to the 11th hole. We're looking downhill, 215 yards to the green.
And this is one of the holes that you realize you're at Wolf Creek. You would never see this hole anywhere else in the world. It's amazing when you stand on this tee. You see all of the canyons around, but there is a little green area down there surrounded by a couple of bunkers. It's a great-looking par 3. It measures 215 yards. Very playable, and you never know. Today might be the day where you make birdie.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. That would have been a real bonus had it dropped, but as it is, good putt. Makeable putt right here, currently sitting at 1 under for the round. He'll take par and move on. From a par 3 to a par 5 here at the 12th. It measures 560 yards, a sweeping dogleg left, and there is some trouble down that left side.
This is a scary tee shot. There's no two ways about it, Rich. You've got to get the ball in play because you can really rack up a good score here. That water very much in play. Doesn't matter what club you decide to hit off the tee. 560 yards actually is reachable, believe it or not. But you've got to get it on the fairway. You don't really have to be too brave and try and take too much over there. The other thing, too, to consider about is this green is nearly half the length of an NFL football field. It is 55 yards from the front of this green to the back of the green.
Safely aboard. Pretty much doing everything right this week. 11 under for the tournament. 13th hole here at Wolf Creek, and Frank, anyone can say, oh, I'm going to take this one over the trees, but very few can stand up and say, I'm flying this baby clear over the mountains.
Yeah, if you take the direct route, obviously it's going to be much shorter than the 350 yards that it's measured as a dogleg right. So the direct line, Well, I don't want to tell you the exact yardage because it might give you too much of a clue, but it might be worth taking. It's going to be a blind tee shot, though, and not quite sure on the outcome.
Great shot coming out of that bunker right there.
Showing some skills today.
Made par yesterday. This one for birdie.
That was a tricky one, but it's in.
Frank, describe the layout here at the 14th hole. It's 444 yards, and what a beautiful hole.
It is, and it's a beautiful view. You see everything from the top of that tee there. It's a hole that keeps bending to the left. There's enough bunkers down the left there to actually take your eye. That's why you've got to fixate on something in the distance that's a much better line than worrying about that wall of sand down the left side. Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
Chance for birdie after that beautiful shot. Birdie try again here today. Had a nice birdie on this hole yesterday. Speed wasn't bad on that long putt, but the read wasn't very good.
Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either.
Seems to really have the touch today.
Now to the par 3 15th hole here at Wolf Creek. Frank, this is the shortest hole on the course.
And their version of a postage stamp type hole, minus the bunkers on the right side. Green elevated, falls off as you can see down the left side. Club selection is vital, but it is such a short hole. It's very, very tempting, especially when that flag's on the left side, to still go at it. But you miss this green on the left, and you are going to be considerably lower than the level of this green.
Well, that's how you play the game right there. Knock it on the green and give yourself a good look at birdie. Frankie took plenty of time on this birdie putt. He looked at it from 3 different angles. He forgot one very important ingredient.
Yep. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are because, you know, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing. Rich, that was some shot out of the rough. I really didn't think he could even get that on the green.
Well, just to get it on the green, as you say, I think is a big win. Good try, just didn't quite read the break, Frank.
It shouldn't be a problem, you'd think, cleaning up here for par. And another good par.
Frank, you licking your chops here at the par 5 17th hole?
Oh, why not? A chance to reach a par 5 and 2, but there's still pitfalls in front of you. A little creek or stream runs across the fairway. So really limiting the distance you can hit that tee shot, but it's still reachable.
Frank, we've all been there. You hit one in the water, you're down. How do you regroup?
You've got to start from scratch again. Everybody's going to hit bad shots. That's just the nature of the game. But compounding mistakes, that's the problem that you want to avoid.
So hit the previous shot in the water, took a drop. This now the 3rd shot. This is one of the more challenging shots in the game, the fairway bunker shot, isn't it, Frank?
It is. You look at the distance involved, you know, obviously what's in front of him now. He has to hit this shot absolutely clean.
Frank, this one is veering far to the left. Frank, ball is in the rough here. What are the problems on this next shot?
Well, this is really where the skill level comes in. A good part, this is where the good player separates himself from the rest.
Just a superb shot.
You're not going to see much better than that all day today.
Settles in over the putt. Name comes off the top of that leaderboard after that par.
Yeah, at the moment, not much they can do. All the good stuff's being played elsewhere.
Now the closing hole here at Wolf Creek. Frank, what's ahead of us?
You could try and drive at this green, but there's too much trouble, really, Rich. Even though this hole's just over 300 yards, it's very ambitious. We'll try and hit a tee shot, 240, 250 yard mark, and of course, you do the maths, you're only going to have 60 or 70 yards in, and 3 wood, pitch it on the green to the clubhouse.
Great way to finish off the final approach shot with a birdie opportunity.
Really. This is an awkward length.
Well, that was just a lousy putt right there. No other way to say it. So just a formality here. That's a solid par. Still in it, Frank. Frank, that was an impressive round out there today.
Couldn't agree more, Rich. We've seen some great shots out there, and I'm excited to see how the rest of this tournament plays out.